I want to go back down to Canberra now and catch up with a Liberal Senator and former Australian Ambassador to Israel, Dave Sharma. Dave, good to talk to you again. I want to start on the Middle East, and I opened my program lamenting this repugnant parade we're seeing of hostages released. Yeah. They've obviously been mistreated. They've obviously been through hell for almost a year and a half, paraded around by masked terrorists with AK-47s and some sort of moral equivalence played by some people with hundreds of terrorists released from Israeli prisons. I mean, this is horrible to see unfold and play out. And it's not surprising that even President Trump is now saying that he's losing patience with this. What do we just have to put up with this, or can they sort this out and just get the hostages back once and for all?
Well, I mean, I think it's been appalling and disgusting, and with each release of hostages, the depraved depths to which Hamas sinks seem to increase further. I mean, not only were these three men clearly mistreated and malnourished during their time in prison, but then they were all forced to read out statements on a platform in front of a gathered crowd of Hamas fighters. I mean, this is a clear violation of any norms of the laws of war, even to the extent that they extend to holding prisoners. But Hamas seems to be making it more and more of a ritualistic humiliation, if you like. I think it's appalling. I think the Red Cross, I know the Red Cross has called for those involved in the mediation to start treating the prisoners with respect. But I think, Israel wants these hostages back, and of course their families want to have them back, and Hamas is playing that for all it's worth. I mean, the people that Israel is releasing from its jails were convicted of crimes, have been fed and nourished and treated throughout, given access to exercise, had visits from their family, had visits from the Red Cross. Many of them have benefited from medical treatment while they're there. There is absolutely no equivalence whatsoever between these two types of detainees.
Yeah, well said on all of that, Dave. The other point, though, I want to get your thoughts on is when we see these despicable, repugnant parades, they demonstrate to us clearly that Hamas are still in control. They're not running around in civilian clothes anymore. They're happy to show themselves as soldiers. And the whole point of the next step for Gaza is making sure that Hamas is not in control. How does that happen without further military action?
That's a very difficult question. I mean, I share that concern. I've been appalled to see Hamas's show of strength, which is what it has been with the release of these prisoners. I mean, I think, look, part of the answer is contained in Donald Trump's press conference remarks last week, where he called upon the Arab world effectively to do more to eliminate Hamas as a force. I mean, Hamas still is able to operate because of the diplomatic space and financial support that comes to it from the Arab world, because it's still offered a degree of legitimacy by the Arab world. It's fine for Trump and those of us in the West to say Hamas can play no future role in the governance of Gaza, but we really need the actors that support Hamas externally to implement that message as well.
Exactly, yeah. Thanks for joining us, Dave. I appreciate it.